Hello, Luke here. I would just like to take a moment to disclose upfront that we sometimes talk about sensitive topics in our podcasts, and in fairness to our audience, we will try our best to put specific warnings in the descriptions of each episode. Now on with the show.
Prezi that the people chose, doing what's right with political woes. Russia and the US are friends, stopping war crimes, hope this peace never ends. Kazakhstan hijacking, Ivan's plan's insane. Terrorism always fails, get off my plane. Terrorism always fails, get off my plane. Yeah.
Nice. Please put the guitar solo in the background.
Right. I.
I'm absolutely changing the lyrics every time I listen to that song now.
A small group of terrorists, led by Dracula, takes over the president's airplane, and it's up to Mumblecore President Indiana Jones to take it back and save his family, and then get radical and go plane-to-plane ziplining to celebrate. This week, we watched Air Force One. Welcome to the Nostalgia Killers podcast, where we revisit films from our youth to see if they still hold up or should be inserted into the great DVD player in the sky. I'm Luke Lone, joined once again, almost as always, by Chuck Starzinski.
That's right. Hello. It is I, alumni of Bravo's highest rated program, Married to Medicine, season 11. Here we come. God, like the calls, they won't stop coming in.
We need the button for the move on music. And joined with us almost always, again, as much, but a lot more now, Javier Martinez.
The one and only. Yeah. Let's do this thing.
We need to get you on a random Bravo show so you can have
I know I don't have anything to plug there,
Yeah, check out Cake Boss, season 38. Javier just, let's say top tier on that wedding cake.
Be sure to stick around to the end of the podcast where we have our Sonic Death Monkey Top 5, where we're going to talk about our list of movies with unrealistic heroes or heroines. Just a brief honorary Sam Coughlin spoiler alert. This movie came out, was it 92?
97.
97, so 27 years ago.
27. If you haven't seen this movie, we're sorry, we're going to spoil the shit out of it for you right here. I'm just going to go ahead and start, not to dive into another movie, but like Gandalf at the crossroads under Moria, I have no memory of this place. I could have sworn I've seen this movie 100 times.
Wow.
I grew up with it. It's in the zeitgeist, of the time. Watched it again the other day. Never fucking watched it. I've seen parts. I knew what it was.
Yeah.
But I do not remember anything from it other than it's got Harrison Ford. I didn't even know Gary Oldman was in it.
Oh, wow. Oh, that must have been nice.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
But let's go on to Javi, since this was your pick.
So this is one of the earliest action films that I can remember watching as a child.
Okay.
That wasn't like a sci-fi or fantasy, like just straight,
more realistic.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Must have been 8 or 9 or something when I saw it. And I remember it was kind of a big deal because I was like, oh, cool. It's an R-rated action movie that my dad's letting me watch.
Was it R?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember blood.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say, like, I had to think really quickly, and I was like, yeah, definitely are, because there's so many goddamn headshots in this movie.
Oh, yeah. And we'll speak about it more about that later. Okay. But yeah, I have this vivid memory of after watching it, going like, wait a minute. Why was that rated R?
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, like my disturbed little self was like really excited to see, I don't know, someone's head explode or something, like when they got shot. And I'm like, oh, that was a cool movie, but
yeah.
Why was that rated R? I mean, I was like, I don't fucking know.
Didn't come across as R,
but yeah,
it was fun, but it wasn't torture porn.
Yeah.
I guess we've been ruined by like Kill Bill and those kinds of movies. How about you, Chuck?
Yeah, just like Rocky, this is another inauguration episode for me. I had no interest in this as a kid when it came out. Like, because I was a child and I was like, no, I don't. Wait, presidents, politics, nah.
Yeah.
And then when I got older and like the more appropriate age to be into it or watch it, it just seemed too hokey. Like I was 12 or 13 and I was like, Harrison Ford's pretty fucking old, dude. Like I don't know about this one. And then also like the marketing on this one was like, I mean, correct for the audience, incorrect for me. Like I just kind of read it as like middle America, like kind of political propaganda, kind of just like USA, A-OK kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then upon watching it, I was like, oh my God, USA A-OK. This movie's fucking awesome.
So glad to hear you say that.
Yeah.
I love this as an action movie.
Yeah.
It did its thing. And I don't have any like nostalgic points to go into other than I'll start with, I think I now understand what Neil Breen is going for. That hero, that thing, that deadpan. And like I get the sense that Neil Breen watched this movie and was like, I'm gonna do that. Now, it's not to put this movie down. It's just that Harrison Ford is very subdued.
Oh yeah,
in the beginning, it's I don't know. It was hard to. I was ready for the takeover, which mercifully happens pretty quick. But what about you?
I mean, I gotta say, get off my plane. The amount of times that I've said that in my life, the amount of times that I've quoted that, like I'll be in the kitchen and I'll grab a loaf of bread, get off my plane, and I'll just throw it against the wall, is ridiculous and probably a little disturbing.
Wow.
Yeah, I say that shit all the time, like under my breath. I love it. I love that quote. It's the best. It's my favorite quote, like of any movie
awesome,
ever.
Dude. That makes this movie worth it.
Yeah,
knowing that.
Yeah, so that's obviously like, anytime I hear Air Force One, I'm like, get off my plane. That's my number one nostalgic thing about it, man.
Fucking.
I put this in my notes too, but like the score, it's so great. It's like it's so. Regardless of what you think about actual America and actual politics and what's going on. God, dude, I felt so patriotic watching that movie. I'm like, fuck yeah. That's our fucking president. Oh, it's not our president.
Yeah.
I know. Also, he's just like a good president. It's like he like sticks to his guns, like literally and figuratively. And he's just like one of those things like, oh, yeah, this guy has integrity and honor and doesn't seem like a sellout douchebag. Like, oh. Yeah, this is definitely a movie.
Yeah, maybe that's why I couldn't get into it. A lot of dads in this movie. Xander Berkeley, the bad Secret Service agent, is the dad in T2.
Oh,
he's the guy that gets the knife through his head. He's also the dad, or one of the. He's not the dad. He's the doctor in Gattaca.
Doctors are kind of like dads.
And I looked this guy's up his IMDb. He's been working since the early '80s. He's got like over 100, almost 200 credits.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's got tons. But then there's also Elia Baskin, who is the pilot. He's the dad in Spider-Man. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Yeah. And then there's like, I didn't write down their names. Quantum Leap guy. Philip Baker Hall's in it at one point. All these just dads, just like all these people were alive at the same time somehow, and we're all in this one fucking movie.
Oh yeah, no, this is the definition of oh my God, it's that guy movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like the entire cabinet, basically. You're like, oh.
But I think they like realized that there was this huge cohort of 30s to 40s dads that were just be sitting around watching TV for the next 20 years, and they made this movie for them.
For dads by dads.
Yeah, pretty much.
I also have to talk about they have like some really good, I mean, they're not one-liners because I think a lot of them are kind of wordy, but they have a lot of like cool quotes in here that aren't like super cheesy. And I really appreciate that because we get some cool lines without it being like, okay.
It isn't overboard. It doesn't do too much. It does what it should do.
Yeah.
It's a well-made movie.
There's just enough like wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
And it is an action movie. Like, it is like 100% like all the other stuff is just window dressing. But like the action stuff is awesome.
Yeah, it's done really well. And like you said earlier, it gets like right into it. Like it doesn't take, we don't have to wait forever for it to kick off. And then once it does, it's pretty tense like the whole time. Yeah. Like it doesn't ever really kind of like, oh, okay, we're kind of relaxed now. It's pretty heightened.
Yeah. Also, as far as garbage like genres go, I love me a plain thriller. I don't know why, but they always hit. As far as like favorite scenes, because I don't have nostalgia for it, obviously, I would definitely have to touch on the secret agent style reveal that the president didn't use the escape pod and is just lurking around the shadows of the plane.
That's the one thing I remember from the movie. Like so that didn't surprise me this time.
He doesn't get
off.
Yeah.
No, great plot. My favorite scene was the hot rodding the 747 through the airport.
Yeah,
when they come into land and they veer off towards the airport and like dodging other airplanes.
So good.
Oh Jesus.
Get plane back up in sky now.
It's so good. It's so good. Like
it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Movie. And like this came out when I was in Germany near Rammstein.
Really?
But they didn't film it there. But people were going around Rammstein going like, oh, they fucking filmed it at Rammstein. Like, no, they didn't. You fucking liars.
Yeah.
It's filmed in Ohio somewhere. But yeah, that was my favorite. It was just all the airplane stuff. The CGI hasn't lived very well.
Yeah, no.
But like at the time, it was very passable. People were very happy with what they were seeing.
Also, a movie like this, I am so on board with shitty CGI. Like, I was like, fuck yeah, give me another fake fighter jet right now. I was like, oh no, it's going to crash into nothing. Ah!
And it was funny because like there's like little parts that are fine. And you're like, oh, that actually looks pretty good. But then it's like, juxtaposed with just like, oh my God, that's fucking awful.
There are parts that are used smartly, and that comes from a visual effects supervisor going, we can do this. And then the other parts are from the director going, I want this.
Yeah.
And the visual effects supervisor going, I don't fucking think we can. Director's like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. Yeah.
Do you want this plane to blow up or not?
Yeah. I mean, do you want to take off a 747 in between two other smaller planes and go over for some reason a bunch of trees near the runway?
Oh, I know. The CGI trees were, I was in tears. I was laughing so hard. I was like, why do you need fake trees?
Why do you have trees near an airport?
Can we talk about the fact that we could potentially have a Sonic Death Monkey top 5 Gary Oldman villains, and we'd all have a different like fucking list?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
because he's so good.
So good.
He's so good.
We should probably do that at some point.
Yeah. I love it. He's not like super over the top. His character, or he's just enough to be like that evil '90s villain, but not like stupid.
The thespian level gravitas from so many actors in this movie is way more than this movie needed.
Yeah.
We got Gary Oldman, Glenn Close, Phil Baker Hall, who isn't in it long, but they're all like AAA level actors. And
William H. Macy too.
William H. Macy.
He's
like lint in this movie. He's fucking basically nothing. Yeah, it's just it blows my mind. Like there's Glenn Close, like she pours it on. Like there's the part where she gets emotional and starts crying, and like I know I'm trying to have a fun action movie time, and you're bringing me down, lady.
Yeah.
Like, way to sell it. This whole movie was written so that we could move, $10 Diet Cokes and $40 bags of popcorn. You don't have to cry, but you did. Thank you.
Yeah. Everybody in that White House like panic room, whatever, was like pouring it on and trying to like compete with each other. It was so good to see.
I'd like to think that there's two directors, and like whoever's directing those scenes are like, we're gonna make The West Wing. God damn it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got some comments about that later. But, got any more?
No, it's all pretty general, man. I just fucking love this movie.
Yeah, it's
so good.
Can't argue with like people liking this movie and just loving the hell out of it.
Yeah, I remember I was watching it through a streaming service, and so when it starts, it shows you the runtime, and I was like, holy fuck, I didn't remember this movie was 2 hours long.
It is 2 hours long,
but like thankfully, like it doesn't feel that way.
No, it fucking moves.
Yeah. I think that's what it does so well. Like the action just keeps going. And
I was trying to think of 30 minutes I could cut out of it, and I don't want to.
No,
there's nothing I would cut. It just was fun all the way through. It's just the batshit crazy on top of batshit crazy, and it's just great.
The last thing I'll say about it is the president, Harrison Ford's character, he's not like a martial arts expert, right? Or he's not like super jacked. Like it's kind of at least as far as like within the movie universe, like it works. Like you see him struggling with the fights, like he's getting sweaty and he's getting thrown around and stuff. So they have he doesn't just magically know how to like hot wire an airplane. He's got to call and then be like, hey, like I have an idea, I just don't know how to execute it. Like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah, he's not a Mary Sue.
Yeah,
he doesn't have faults.
Right. Yeah. So I think I really appreciate that.
No, that totally. It could have gone wrong really easily.
Oh yeah, they could have cut, and he's like all of a sudden out of his suit and for no reason greased up like in a tank top with a Rambo like fucking tie around his head, and just they didn't do that thing.
It's a Black Ops agent who single-handedly took down.
Why did he take his shoes off? I don't know. They did it in fucking Die Hard.
It was just Die Hard on a plane. So
nitpicks and fixes.
I think just like the glaring one that I have is like the politics and kind of the modern day parallels of some of it make it a little like, ooh. That looks a little familiar. And I don't know if that's necessarily like a terrible thing, but it definitely, it sticks out, and you can't help if you're politically conscious, you can't help but like make that connection instantly and be like, oh, that sounds really familiar. Or that's the complete opposite of what's,
Yeah. As someone who grew up through those times, I can tell you guys wholeheartedly, you're going to see this again and again. The more movies we watch, the same shit will show up. It hasn't changed. It's been the same since the beginning. I couldn't hear Harrison Ford at the beginning of the movie. He like mumbles and is like 3 to 6 decibels quieter than everybody else in the film. Even when he's up giving a speech, speaking Russian, they turned it down. I don't know if that's on purpose, but to make it like not give away that he couldn't speak Russian very well.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I thought it was my TV.
And I watch movies with headphones, so I'm getting the full experience. I can tell when things are ADR'd and whatnot, and he wasn't ADR'd. He's just really fucking quiet on set. and they never looped him in post. So like, could have been bumped a little bit, I guess, to understand what the fuck he was saying for someone who hadn't seen the movie. I thought I had, but I thought I was missing important stuff.
Little did you know you weren't.
I want to know his character.
I mean, I got a couple more. Check. I don't know if you want to fire off.
Yeah, I've got 3. They're all nitpicks though, because this movie fucking slaps. But my big one is I really don't like Ivan kissing the president's daughter on the forehead and booping her little nose.
Oh, yeah.
That just made me really uncomfortable. I was like, I don't like that, Gary Oldman. Don't do that again. And then as far as scenes, letting the press secretary just get murdered.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, whoa! Like, it's kind of fun because it does add to like the whole, he is a president who has to make, important life and death decisions and all that kind of stuff. But it's also like, I think you could have stopped that. Didn't even try.
Yeah. Like, especially because the rest of his, we were talking about the rest of his characters is pretty, he's a pretty good guy, Yeah. So, you would think that would be one thing. It's like, well, I can't let like this innocent person die. I mean, I understand why I did it, and so do, a couple of the other characters in the film. I think it's William H. Macy's character, right? That says something about it, about why he's still hiding.
This was a very big time where America was posturing like hardcore. That was what we did, and it was the whole idea of we don't negotiate with terrorists, and to be put in a position where you probably should negotiate with the terrorists.
Yeah, probably.
And then what I didn't quite get was like the stakes disappeared as soon as that general was just murdered as he walked out of prison. I'm like, that was going to happen anyways. Like, what was the What was the actual problem? But I mean, I can't really fault the movie for it. It was still just a good plot. I mean, and it's like it's putting a character in a no-win situation.
Yeah.
And he has to make a choice. Sophie's choice or whatever, like choose which one lives. That's fucking harsh. Yeah. I did not expect that one to drop. I wasn't quite ready for that one to be so serious in this movie.
And then my final nitpick is more of just like a time thing. It's more just watching this with future eyes, but the president needs to dig out a user manual to work the track phone on the plane. Like, that's a scene we could have cut. Like, all you need to show me is like, oh yeah, phone. He grabbed phone. Now we go back to the action, cut back. He's on phone.
Yeah.
That's all we needed. But he's literally just like, how the hell do these damn things? And he's like programming it.
That kind of sounds like a Harrison Ford thing, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was just like, how are you supposed to know how to do this? I don't know how to do this. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well,
why would the president know how to use
he needs a manual, right?
He needs a manual.
I think people of the time were just amazed that he had signal throughout the plane on that wireless phone. My last nitpick, and it's just it's not even to disparage the movie. It's just that the whole White House scene, all those actors coming at each other, they tried to do West Wing. West Wing did it the best, in my opinion. Just the aggravation, the actual like mean character against mean character.
The cat and mouse of politics, the turmoil, all of that, yeah.
But like the stakes, I guess it's the stakes once again, like I couldn't tell who was actually being ambitious and like cruel and mean and who was being like the good person. That at one point they're facing each other and they're angry at each other, but they're also friends. I'm like, I'm doing this for you. I'm like, it was a little washed out. I think there was just too many people in the room.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, too many cooks.
And the dialogue itself wasn't punchy. It wasn't not like West Wing could. Like, it was just kind of flat.
Yeah, it was kind of like, hey, let's go back to the plane.
Yeah, exactly. I was ready every time just go back to the plane and like shoot some guys.
Yeah.
But that's it. I mean, at the time, I remember this, everyone fucking loving this movie, all of it. It's just something I noticed.
Totally. No, yeah, I have plenty of just like small kind of, does that really work that way? Is that really how it's supposed to, go kind of nitpicks? But it doesn't take away from the movie at all. Yeah. It's just things that I noticed this time around. I'm like, oh, I don't think that's possible, but okay, cool.
Ready to go on to the rainy day pairing? I got Clear and Present Danger.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
There's a fucking run of years where Harrison Ford was just knocking them out on all these Tom Clancy idea. I don't even know if Air Force One was a book, but yeah, the same level of just like, he's an important person who knows how to fire an automatic weapon and get out of bombs.
Just sticking on the theme of Sky Garbage, I've got Executive Decision.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Oh, it's the same movie. It's literally almost the exact same movie. You just swap Kurt Russell for Harrison Ford and make him not the president. And then that's it. Yeah, it's bad man take over plane. Oh my God, Kurt Russell is like hiding somewhere. He pops out. He saved plane. This movie's better because that one has Steven Seagal in
it. Nice. Is he the bad guy?
I haven't seen it in so long. I mean, he's a bad guy in real life. I don't know if he's a bad guy in the movie.
I don't think he's ever played a bad guy in a movie.
No, I don't think he's the bad guy. I think he's just like random SEAL team member.
Yeah, I had another kind of epitome of good 90s action movies. I had The Rock.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the first thing that popped in my head.
That one I can get behind.
Yeah, which I hope we also do.
Hell
we'll do The Rock, don't worry.
Definitely going to do The Rock.
But yeah.
On to this movie's cocktail.
Yeah.
Which I just chugged.
So
Yeah,
you
that's
also
great.
just downed it. Yeah. Which is very fitting, Javi, that it's your favorite quote, because we've got the "Get off my plane." It's basically an aviation meets a paper plane. So you've got half an ounce of gin, half an ounce of lemon, half an ounce of a grapefruit aperitif, half an ounce of a sweet Amaro, and half an ounce of a Maraschino Liqueur. No brands named there. Shake all the ingredients and strain it into a chilled glass as you secretly take back your flight.
It was tasty.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't even realize it was gone until I...
Yeah.
I'm not sipping.
I need instead of like a... What kind of glass is this?
Coupe?
Just a coupe? Instead of like a big open face thing, I need like something that limits mine.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
need a tiny cocktail straw that I can drink out of. That'll
there you
last me
go.
longer. Awesome. Thank you, Chuck.
You're welcome.
Well, with that, we'll go on to our first ad break.
Ad break. Hey, and we're back with everyone's favorite game in the Podverse. We've got Nostalgia Killers Trivia. That's right. Let's find out what our hosts really know about Air Force One.
All right, so it's me, Javier, taking over trivia again. How much longer? Who knows? All right.
You keep picking these films.
All right, let's start off with question number 1. After viewing and loving the film, President Bill Clinton did point key differences between Air Force One in the movie and the real-life plane. What were they? A. The real Air Force One has its own extra fuel reserve in case of fuel loss. B. There is no stash of guns aboard Air Force One other than the ones that Secret Service carries. Or C. There is no extra parachutes or escape pod in case of emergencies aboard Air Force One.
Well, I'm going to say that whether or not B or C are true, I'm going to say they're bullshit. I'm going A. I feel like that's what you say. You're like, yeah, I don't have like a stack of pornography under my seat right now. No, I don't have that at all. I'm not looking at it. Oh, whoa, check. Did you see page 90? I don't have this.
I don't have a catalog of interns.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a bad rumor.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick C.
Ding, ding, ding. Luke is right. Yeah. Apparently, at least at that time, they might have changed it now. But at that time, yeah, there was no extra parachutes or escape pod.
This is also like something I would call bullshit. That's just to like say like, yeah, no, we don't have that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah, it's like the gun thing. It's like,
I don't
It
believe
seems
in it.
wild. Really?
I don't know.
Maybe the escape pod, but like the parachutes?
We're
Like,
going to
you
be
don't
put on
have
some sort of list talking about it this much. So.
That was the final Nostalgia Killers episode. Actually, it was Rocky because this one was deleted.
yeah.
Coming to you from prison.
Exactly. Welcome back to Redacted.
Question number 2. Since the release of this film, polls have been conducted every real presidential election to see which fictional president Americans would like to see in office. Harrison Ford, as James Marshall, has won every single poll every single time. Who is the other movie president that usually comes in second place?
Only because the first one I could think of. I'm going to go Morgan Freeman and Deep Impact. I don't think it's that, but that's the first thing that popped in my head.
I think his name is Bill, but it's got to be the guy from Independence Day.
Oh, Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman.
Ding, ding, ding. Luke again. It is Bill Pullman, Independence Day. Yeah. Although Morgan Freeman, that's a good choice.
I do like the Morgan Freeman one.
I mean, I think he's a good president in that movie. That's also probably why I was like, oh yeah.
That's another movie just like this. I'm pretty sure I've seen once.
Yeah.
And I do not remember anything about it.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that in a while, too.
Yeah.
Question number 3. True or false? This movie was originally rated PG-13, but was immediately changed to an R rating after its release due to parents complaining about the violent content.
I'm going to go true because you remembered it PG-13, so maybe it actually was when it came out and you saw it.
Yeah, I'll go true.
It is false. It was always R. But Harrison Ford actually championed to change it to PG-13 after that had worked for his previous film, Clear and Present Danger.
God damn it.
Question number 4. Before its release, Air Force One was screened for Robert Murdoch, the head of the studios at that time, as a replacement for another 1997 film whose rough cut was unwatchable due to technical issues. After eventually seeing the other film he was supposed to see, Robert Murdoch stated, "Yeah, it was okay, but it's no Air Force One." What film was it? Was it A, Titanic, B, Jurassic Park: The Lost World, C, Grosse Point Blank, or D, Batman and Robin.
I'm gonna go B, Lost World, because there's just so much technical stuff going on there.
I would go with Grosse Pointe Blank because nobody liked that movie but me.
Nobody got it. It was A, Titanic.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Controversial hot take. I still think that movie's unwatchable.
So does Robert Murdoch. Number 5. Randy Newman was originally hired to compose the music for this film. Unfortunately, his completed score was deemed too loud and unintentionally funny.
What?
Not a good fit for the film.
I was gonna say, I want to hear that so bad.
I do.
Fun fact, you can YouTube it and it's on there. It is on YouTube.
Awesome.
Oh my God, that's...
and they've even done some where they just, switched out the audio for it. So.
President's plane, he's taking over and it's gone up insane.
Jerry Goldsmith was brought in to compose a new score for the film in 12 days.
Oh, shit.
Randy Newman later used pieces from his rejected score for what other film?
I'm going to say Toy Story 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he did after that. I'd give it up.
Well, I'll give it to Chuck because it was Toy Story 3.
Oh,
but yeah.
Hey, fucking why not?
So I would love to go and rewatch Toy Story 3 and try to figure out
which part of the Air Force One it was going.
Yeah.
I just love the idea of like, think, Randy, think, and like, wait a minute, you got that number about Kazakhstan. Why don't you just change Kazakhstan to Slinky?
There's some weird like airplane president song in the middle of Toy Story 3.
Exactly.
All right, number 6. True or false? The night former President Donald Trump won the presidency, he used the main theme from this movie as his entrance music to deliver his victory speech.
I'm going to say false.
I want to go false too.
It is true.
Of all the,
Yeah.
okay, I wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, it tracks. I was just upset and pissed drunk when that happened. So that's why I'm like, I think I remember like.
I remember them using a bunch of songs that the artist didn't want them to use, like fucking Springsteen and whoever like sued the shit out of them for playing.
I remember Three Doors Down. I don't remember Air Force One.
Yeah.
So they used Air Force One theme music.
Yeah. That was the song that was playing when
I think
it came out on stage. Yeah.
I think I had shot my television at that point.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I was like, I would have remembered. I'm like, now we're going on to the alt casting questions. So question number 7. Which of these actors was the first choice for the role of President James Marshall? Was it A, Dennis Quaid, B, Tommy Lee Jones, C, Kevin Costner, or D, Arnold Schwarzenegger?
C, Kevin Costner.
D, Schwarzenegger.
Ding, 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 ding. Chuck's got it. It is
shit.
Kevin Costner.
Oh my God, I got one.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
All those other actors were considered, but Kevin
Yeah.
Costner was the first
Costner's
choice.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it due to time constraints.
Due to being Kevin Costner.
Yeah. But he was the one who recommended Ford.
I think they would have come to him
Yeah.
eventually anyways. What's Indiana Jones doing?
Question number 8. Which of these actors was not considered? Was it A, Will Smith, B, Keanu Reeves, C, Tom Hanks, D, John Malkovich, or E, Gene Hackman?
I'm going to go Gene Hackman just because he's too old.
I don't know. I would go Keanu Reeves because he was busy.
It is A, Will Smith.
Will Smith.
I should have known 90s racism.
Yeah, we were not ready for that.
Racism. Yeah, should have known.
Would have been way too progressive. We already had a woman vice president.
Yeah.
Fun fact, so Gene Hackman did read the script and said it was too lousy.
Hell yeah.
Now on to suspicious connections. Question number 9. Wendy Crossan, who plays the First Lady, stars in a 1999 heartwarming sci-fi film starring 2 suspicious connections, and is also directed by Chris Columbus, who himself is a suspicious connection due to directing Gremlins. What film was it?
This is also the first time I swear I'm seeing this woman. I can't tell you. I have no idea what else she's in.
I'm going to say K-Pax.
It is Bicentennial Man,
Damn it.
directed by Chris Columbus, starring Robin Williams and Sam Neill. Jurassic
Oh,
Park.
yeah.
That's right. It's a pretty good one.
It is.
Watched it a couple times.
I haven't seen that in a while after we watched
Takes
it.
place in San Francisco, so it's pretty.
Don't even remember that.
Yeah, it's pretty relatable.
Number 10, Harrison Ford, arguably most famous for playing Han Solo. There are 2 other suspicious connections who were strongly considered and auditioned for Solo. Who are they?
Yeah, I'm gonna surrender. There's no way I know this.
Yeah.
I'm going with, these are just shot in the dark.
Do it.
I'm doing Jeffrey Rush and Willem Dafoe.
Wow, those are insane answers. They're not correct. But I wish I could see that.
All he wants to take points away.
Yeah,
Exactly.
No, it is Kurt Russell.
Okay.
And Sylvester Stallone.
Son of a bitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't imagine him as Han Solo.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there's
You'd have
footage
two
of both.
characters you can't understand. Him and Chewie just going back and
Just
forth.
talking together.
Thanks for playing. And to our audience, thanks for listening. Let's announce our winners, or our winner, unless it was a tie. Who knows?
I don't see that happening.
Congratulations, Chuck.
Oh my God.
Congratulations, Luke.
Yay. And with that, we'd like to thank our executive producers. Thank you, Addie Martinez.
Yeah, you can stay on our plane any day.
And Addie Martinez.
You can also stay on our plane any day.
If you'd like to become an executive producer, you can support us for $15 a month on Patreon. We really, really appreciate it. We love all the support that we get, and thank you all so much for listening and helping us out. And with that, we'll go on to our second ad break. And we're back with Act 3, the award categories, where we start off with my new band name.
Yeah, I've got 3, as per usual. I have Your Turn to Be Afraid. They're a new metal band. They would open for Linkin Park.
That was a really good line, and the gravity set in there. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I've got Prehistoric Pregnancy. They're a thrash metal band. And the quote is, "Dad, I'm 12 years old. In caveman days, I'd be having children of my own by now." Which is such a icky thing and very 90s thing to say.
Yeah.
Oh, don't sexualize yourself, little girl. I don't like this. And my final band is I'm Counting on You, Red, White, and Blue. And it's a country act, of course. But yeah, that line made me piss my pants. The phone cuts out. He's looking at the wires. He's like, hell, counting on you, Red, White, and Blue. Gonna cut everybody else.
That's right, he cut the yellow one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which could have been read as a subtle dig. Wow, let's not get into that.
I have The President in Barbados. It's a reggae band.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. My friends are like, what do we do now, Mr. President? Oh, let's go to Barbados. Bad Politics. It's a punk band. Reference to Gary Oldman. You wouldn't let them die. That would be bad politics.
Yeah. I have, it's not really a quote, but it's, I have Shotgun Parachute Training. It's a speed metal band.
Hell yeah.
The little training he gives at the people, here's how to use a parachute. You're jumping out of a fucking jetliner for the very first time. You want to make sure you pull this cord. Yeah. Oh my God. None of those people survived. No. Even the ones who got those parachutes open, they're fucking dead. Yeah. And what were they flying over? This is fucking Afghanistan? There's no fucking way.
Yeah, exactly. Where are they landing? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just scattered all over it.
What a bad idea. They should have remained in force on the plane and took everyone over.
Yeah. You were in Turkey.
That's my it's my military opinion. But.
Yeah. Whoa, don't shoot. I am a actual member of the president's cabinet invading your country.
Yeah, exactly. They were more trouble on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. It would just, if they were just civilians, they would probably get off a lot lighter. But it's literally no, I'm the guy who organized the last bombing of your...
Yeah, they probably could have used those parachutes as bullet protection better than the fucking... ridiculous. But that said, the people who flew out the back of the plane with no chutes, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Just oh God, how scary is that shit?
Yeah,
that was the scariest part of the movie for me. On to the Roger Deakins Would Be Proud Award for cinematography.
Yeah, I've got 2. I'll say one first, and then we can kind of... the first one I have is the final rescue at the end, but it's funny because they do shots from above, which you can tell that's a real plane, which I looked at it is, and they actually did that. They had the one plane.
You're talking about the zip cord?
Yeah, the zip line. Yeah, they actually did that. Yeah,
okay.
Which is really cool because I'm like, oh, that looks fantastic. That looks great.
Right.
But then they have reverse shots from the bottom plane, which looks fucking terrible.
Yeah.
that they did not film. But from the top, that looks really cool. And again, just to find out like they actually did that.
It was pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the president's initial rise from below deck, like that first like kind of light follow of like Harrison Ford
right in front of the killer?
rising from right in front of the killer. My second is the tracking shot of the president walking through the carnage when he first comes up, and he's just like seeing like the camera's just kind of like just like a shoulder mount kind of thing following him, and he's just seeing the carnage of like, oh my god, that was my Secretary of State, that was like little Timmy. These bastards.
Mine are not necessarily like awards, like good job, but it's like things that stood out to me. It's all CGI, but the whole the hot rodding of the 747 was fucking hilarious to me, and it went on for so long. It was great. At the end, when they win, there's this shot on the camera's on the center of the table, and it slowly pans around to all the people celebrating, and it gets faster and faster, and it fucking Willy Wonka's and just keeps spinning, and then just cuts. Yeah. If you watch it again, it's fucking hilarious.
It's like nauseating. It's so fast.
Yeah, it's like you never do this. You don't do this. Yeah. But I imagine there's just someone underneath the camera just like flicking it. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I got. You got another one?
Nice. I got another one. Not necessarily, not really camera work, I guess, but the planning of during the hide and seek kind of stealthing around the plane moments of like turning the corner right when the other guy turns the corner and then like going up the stairs as like the door closes. Like, I don't know if those are, just two overlaying shots or if they actually just like time that, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Really good cat and mouse on a really small set.
And they have like they're like pushing into staircases too and like pulling back to reveal when he's around the corner. That's pretty cool. It's a cool setup they got.
It's one of those movies where they use cinematography to tell the story, where instead of just cutting between two things happening, they will leave the shot going and like pull the camera back to reveal a little bit more. Yeah. And they did a really good job a lot of that stuff. And it like helps the movie flow. Gives you geography of the environment too. You can know where you are in the place. Right on to, is that Channing Tatum in a dog collar award? I've got some fun ones.
Yeah, there's so many people in this movie. Like this is a movie of, oh, it's him. Oh, it's her. But I gave it to Philip Baker Hall as the Attorney General. He just plays a detective or a police chief basically in every single movie ever made. Yeah. So I was like, oh, it's that really upset guy. Like, yeah. It's like I saw him and I was like, I can imagine him screaming at Chris Tucker right now. Yeah. Which that's a suspicious connection right there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right.
Yeah. He's the police chief in Rush Hour.
And Ginny?
Yeah, I had that one as well. And then I also had Tom Barry, who is the tower controller at the Ramstein. Yeah, the African-American gentleman. So I knew I recognized him somewhere. It was one of those, I know him. I've seen him somewhere.
I think I looked it up too.
Yeah. And so he was in the first two Fast and the Furious movies. He was like the police chief guy that was...
okay. I haven't seen any of those
Paul
movies.
Walker's supervisor. Yeah. And then he was also in Space Jam. He was Michael Jordan's dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then he was in a couple other like TV shows, like just, he works a lot, so...
I got Dean Stockwell, who everyone knows from Quantum Leap. Got Philip Baker Hall. Not a person, but Shawshank Prison. The Russian prison they filmed was actually Shawshank.
Oh, really?
Where they filmed Shawshank. Yeah, it's some prison in Ohio. Like they filmed all the stuff in Ohio for some reason.
Weird. Maybe Ohio was the like Georgia of 97, which is like tax breaks, baby. Let's go.
I think it just helps you not have company moves if you don't have to send everyone to different states.
Yeah.
But if you can find everything in one. But the Shawshank Prison, that's the because the set design in there is fucking amazing, but I imagine they didn't do much. It's just an old broken down brick prison. Just looks awesome. Hans Gruber Deathfall Award. I mean, I have to give it to Gary Oldman. Fucking the parachute hanging. Yeah. Fucking wow.
Yeah. No,
they outdid the Hans Gruber, I would say.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That was my comment. So, I don't think I ever said this, but when we, kind of formulated these questions and these categories for the show, to me, that one is more iconic, than the Gary Oldman, than the Hans Gruber.
Yeah.
Deathfall. Like that's the one that in my mind, that's the best movie death, like ever. It just always lives in my head. Like that's the coolest, like paired with the music and everything. And
that should be a Sonic Death Monkey like topic at some point too.
Oh, it will be.
That's your get off my plane too.
Yeah. Get off my plane. It's so good.
Which is ironic because he stays on the plane because he's hanging. Just to be a contrarian, because I knew everyone was going to pick that one.
Sure.
I went with the CGI Air Force One cartwheeling explosion into the ocean with Agent Gibbs still inside.
Yeah.
We were talking about earlier.
That was a good one. Gibbs dying that way.
Moments when the CGI is like, oh, the effects guy knows how we're going to do this and is like, yep, we're going to use the latest technology and we're going to blend it perfectly and seamlessly with the environment. This was very much like a Michael Bay, like, and then plane go boom. And they're like, okay, plane go boom, kerr-caw. It's going to look like shit. And it's like, I don't care. I want it to cartwheel. It's like, and it's just, it's the hokiest, like, Sharknado level, just splash.
Yeah.
I also love that we get like that super, like, not afraid, but just kind of like bummed out reaction from Gibbs.
Yeah.
He's like, oh,
He's
no.
like, oh, man.
Yes, it's very, yes.
We should overdub that part.
Yeah.
Tartar sauce.
Yeah. He like hangs his head down before he crashes the water.
Maybe that was one of the songs that got put in Toy Story 3. Because there's a lot of like heartstring stuff in Toy Story 3. Maybe that was like, oh yeah, I wrote this really beautiful piece.
Right on to Why I Love Waterworld, a controversial hot take.
I didn't really have one, to be honest.
I mean, this episode's already going to get demonetized and redacted anyways because of, comments about what is and what is not on Air Force One. So I might as well just double down. Ivan makes some good points about the hypocrisy of foreign policy.
Me?
Like, there's the whole, like, how can you shoot these innocent people on this plane? And then he has a quote, "You murder 100,000 Iraqis to save nickel on gallon of gas. Do not lecture me on war."
That was kind of a not funny part for me, but it was eye-opening because this was after the first Iraq War.
Yeah.
When everyone already came to these conclusions, and I think in the zeitgeist, people thought we were never going to do this again because everybody knows what happened. And then 9/11 happened and we did it again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It would be considered subversive during wartime to say things like that in a movie. I was surprised they actually did that in this movie. Sure.
Which is, one of your nitpicks, Chuck. I think that's why they put that little kiss on the forehead to the dog, because you're like, oh wait, hold on, this guy's cooking. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh wait, no, kiss her, so it's really gross. Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh,
I don't
he's
like
icky.
him.
We don't like him. Never mind.
Yeah.
JK. Like, Desert Storm was a good thing.
Yeah.
This is probably only for military people who are going to get this, but how hard is it to teach your actors to salute? This isn't going to come across well on the audio podcast, but when people salute, your hand's supposed to be a blade. Your thumb is supposed to be out by the side of your hand.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch everyone in this movie, even the people in the military, they got their thumb inside like a doofus.
Oh, really?
They're doing this. Even the president at the end when he's the cringy sign off like, "You did good, sir."
Yeah.
Oh my god. But like it just stands out. It would make sense if you're not in the military and you don't see it. But like it's one thing to watch out for. One thing to like practice and do. It's really easy, but they do it in tons of movies. I can't shit on this movie that much, but it just burns me every time I see it. I'm like, he's not in the military. Why can't I have my reality in this? Why can't I believe this really happened? And on to Blue Velvet meets Blue's Clues movie mashup. What would you mash this up with to make it better, more entertaining, or?
So mine is incredibly stupid. Once again, I mainly did it for the name. See if you can guess what it's about. The film's called Air Force -1. So it's the same story of a presidential plane jacking, but there's a giant kaiju wreaking havoc the entire time.
I want to have a soundboard and have the Godzilla sound. It's like,
exactly. So the president not only has to get control over his plane, but he has to get control over the plane because the plane has rockets that can take down the giant monster.
Mine is, I would have liked to have seen more blood, just in all the fights and stuff.
Yeah,
there's a lot of, the most damage I saw in this movie was to like bathroom doors, which is pretty realistic. I like their little squibs or whatever they did. Looked amazing. But I would love to pair this up with like a Beatrix Kiddo in the Crazy 88 fight. But on a plane, so there's just blood dripping down the walls and body parts everywhere. I'd like that. Just like limited to an airplane instead of a restaurant.
That's awesome. So mine, Air Force One meets The Thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Shape-shifting alien like on board, and like, it could just be the alien and no terrorists, or it could be terrorists and alien, and now they have to band together. Confined in like a plane.
The stakes are higher because the plane's flying and it could end up anywhere. It's not isolated to Antarctica. Right. Yeah. Fucking A, dude. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I love that too. If this isn't already a movie, we should write this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, super awesome. Yeah. I think the only thing I could think of, because I always try to think of like, wait, is this already a thing? Is this already a thing? Just so I don't say it on the podcast. And like the only thing I could think of was close to it was like Snakes on a Plane, but that's stupid because it's snakes.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, like the terrifying like shape shifting aspect of it gives it more of that thriller. Like, yeah.
Fuck yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's ride it. Oh
yes. Yes. Love
And
it.
also, there's nothing I love more in life than when we get story A, then story B starts, and all of a sudden this is no longer ever going to be story A again.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, okay, this is now like an alien film.
Yeah.
This is no longer, Air
Right.
Force One, executive decision, fucking clear and present danger, or any of that.
Yeah.
Fucking A. Great idea, man. Love it. Dare I go on to Here Comes Kanye? Let's do our pluggables.
Dare I ask you if you have a Peacock subscription or a Bravo Plus?
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but it could be. Because if you do, you can tune into the thrilling Emmy soon-to-be nominated episode of Married to Medicine, Season 10. Let's Take a Napa. God, I tear up that screen, let me tell you.
Yeah, it's fire, man. Fire.
It's, God.
Best,
No notes.
Best
They gave me no notes. I understand it's reality TV, but I did it all in one take.
We got cards and a drink book coming out very soon. Sorry it's late. We'll go on to our Do We Call Jules and Vincent?
No, let this movie live.
I was going to let it live.
Yeah, let it live. This movie,
So good.
God, yeah, this is like there's something primal inside me that my wife has definitely helped me unlock because she loves this kind of fucking garbage. Doesn't matter what mood I'm in, I can always watch an Air Force One, a John Wick, a, Fast 7, like any of that kind of garbage. There's just something about awful fucking action movies that I love. Probably going to try and see The Beekeeper in theaters because, like, yeah.
I've heard good things.
I've heard nothing but good things. And it's just like, it's just hot trash like this.
Yeah, hot trash. I'm gonna take the cop out route. We said we'd never do, but I'm gonna do the Butch Comes Home Early thing. I would love to see this and just bumped up in some other way.
Mm-hmm.
Just I'm gonna let it live, of course, but I probably won't watch it again. Gotten all the joy out of it I could, and might choose something else. Yeah, not gonna kill it. That's for damn sure. It is an action movie, and it fucking delivers.
Yeah, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. Yeah.
Right on to our Sonic Death Monkey top 5. Our top 5 movies with unrealistic heroes or heroines. My number 5, Milton in Office Space.
Oh, yeah.
The one behind the scenes character, we make fun of him, but he ends up saving the day by burning the building down.
Oh my God, I can't wait for the Office Space episode. I'm actually kind of itching to do that one because I've been wanting to rewatch that movie, but I can't rewatch it until we do it because I know we're going to do it. So I approached this question with 2 caveats. So I did unrealistic as in like, fuck, this is bad. And then I did unrealistic as in, fuck, this is awesome. So we'll get the this is bad out of the way. My number 5 is any late stage Nicolas Cage movie that he just made to pay off his gambling debts.
Right.
And I chose Bangkok Dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
When he plays Joe. It's just everything. The hair, the fucking acting, the like disgusting romance, because he's just like, he's like Nick Cage and is like, no offense to Nick Cage and, being of a certain age, but this is just bad casting. Like, why is he gonna try and hook up with this very young woman? And like, why do we think he's this like badass when he's just walking around barely delivering dialogue?
My number 5, I have the kid from The Iron Giant.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I have this thing with like kids thwarting the government. Not that it's not cool to watch, but I just like, dude, like I think back to when I was like, 8, 9, 10. I'm like, too stupid to do it. Like all that. Like there's no way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like it's still fun, but just one of those things. Like I always do think about it when I see kids do that stuff. I'm just like,
Another film I haven't seen.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Maybe we can cover it.
Yeah. One of Vin Diesel's greatest performances.
My number 4, Rafter Man from Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, yeah.
He's the the kind of wimpy little reporter going around like, I want my shot, I want my chance, and then at the end he ends up saving the day and turns into fucking super G.I. Joe, a Vietnam guy.
Bouncing from terrible to awesome. My number 4 is True Lies, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Harry Tasker. Just because of not only because of how over the top that movie is and the whole jet scene and all of that, obviously, but my main reason for picking that is, how the fuck am I supposed to believe this man is a software salesman in his time off? Like, how does his family not know that he's a secret agent when he's just like fucking jacked and coming home covered in blood every night? And he's just like,
there should be free weights in every room of their house.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, wow, you've really been hitting the roids, haven't you? And it's like, no, just Cisco Systems is very tough.
I'm a salesman, but I barely speak English.
Exactly. It's just, it's fucking insane.
I love it. I can see that.
Number 4, I have the lead in Prey. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was the new
Prey is
Predator
awesome.
movie. It's amazing.
I still want to watch it.
Oh, it's so good.
I'll watch any Predator movie. So.
Yeah. No, it's so good. But it's just one of those things, like, I don't know, like, especially in times when, like, everything was like, spirit, witch, freak the fuck out and, like, You never go to those woods. I don't know, just the odds of her overcoming that. And
nice.
I really think it's cool as shit. I love it. But
they got past me. I still need to watch. I need to put it on my list and watch it. But my number 3 is Grandpa in Lost Boys.
Oh yeah,
coming through at the very end with the modified Jeep.
Exactly.
Fucking one thing I couldn't stand about Santa Clara is all the goddamn vampires.
My number 3, going back to the terrible, is any Steven Seagal movie, especially any Steven Seagal movie after Under Siege. I chose, just for fun, Exit Wounds, where he plays Oren Boyd. It was supposed to be his comeback movie. Mm-hmm. And yeah, DMX has so much bravado and machismo and is actually built and can vaguely fight in the movie.
And he's blowing him out of acting wise. He's blowing him
out of the water too. And
yeah.
I'm supposed to believe that oh no, Steven, DMX is doing fine, but this fucking ancient overweight liar, DMX can't do it alone.
Yeah.
He needs this guy.
Yeah.
My number 3, and it pains me to say this, but I have Machete.
Yeah.
A 70-year-old fucking Mexican federale.
I can see that. But I always believe in Trejo. I heard him on Marin from a couple years ago. Did not realize he was that old.
Yeah.
He's
pushing 80, or he is 80 now.
Desperado, he was upper 50s. I'm like, damn, dude.
I mean, he looks great.
He looks fucking awesome.
As far as
so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, another driving one, but I got Whistler from Sneakers. And if you haven't seen Sneakers, you won't get it. But it's basically a blind man driving while someone guides him over radio.
Oh, yeah.
Driving a big box truck and saves the day. Pretty good.
My number 2 is a split between terrible and awesome. It is Fast 10, Fast X. Vin Diesel as Dominic Toretto. They just pivot eventually in the series, and now he's a superhero. He throws 2 cars, physically.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Or he rebounds a fucking 6-ton Jeep or something with his arm. It's fucking insane.
I'd like to take this moment. I think I've said it before on the podcast, but I'd like to retract a statement of liking Riddick.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the Riddick movies, I rewatched them.
Ooh.
Oh no, they're bad.
They're bad.
They're bad Vin Diesel movies. Pitch Black I liked it because it was a good sci-fi horror movie.
Cool. I like Pitch Black.
But it's still they still try to keep centering it around the badass of Vin Diesel. I'm like, oh. And then
fight in the night, baby.
Yeah, and then Riddick, they're just all really bad one-liners. And I was like, the movie is happening around him, that kind of thing. Yeah. It's like, oh.
Bummer.
Yeah, I did like him, but just want to be on the record. Stop hating me. Stop sending me the emails.
The hate mail.
Yeah.
Riddick sucks.
Chronicles of shit.
Exactly.
Number 2, I have The Dark Knight. Multi-billionaire as people online have pointed out, we have so many of those, and really not one of them. Yeah. Not one, And it's just even with his billionaire status, the amount of money, I don't know if someone's actually sat down and done calculations for all the shit that he things would cost, but it's just.
Oh yeah, I know he's multi-billion.
Yeah. So
my number 1 is Spud from Trainspotting 2.
I've not seen the second one.
Highly recommend it. Have you've watched the first one?
Yes.
Do you have any attachment to it?
I like it, but I'm not nothing.
So in the second one, they're all basically the same people.
Yeah.
Except for Spud. Spud turns around and kind of comes out to be a real human being. Everybody else is just shitbag. But I think about that all the time. It's just a great movie. You don't expect him to rise, but he does.
Yeah, my number 1 is back in the awesome Jason Statham as Chev Chelios in the Crank movies. I picked Crank 1 just because it's more iconic, but he can't fucking die. And he just doesn't, he's just fucking overdosing on cocaine, electrocuting himself, literally falls out of a fucking plane.
Yeah.
Only to survive and be in another movie. He just talk about unrealistic, but awesome. He literally just, he's Superman, but, fucking Gen X and hardcore and edgy. And it's great.
Yeah. My number 1, even though I totally understand, and I love the fact that that's the theme of kind of the story, and I even have a quote from there that I want to get because it's super awesome. Frodo in Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Oh yeah.
It's just, there's no way. It's wild, but again, totally understand that's the theme, and I love it.
Well, thank you for listening. If you're still listening, that concludes our show. I've been Luke Lones.
I have been Chuck Starzensky.
And I've been Javier Martinez.
And we have been the Nostalgia Killers.
Bang bang.
Get off my plane.